What is good, everybody? Wait lang. What is good, everybody? Welcome to the very first video of One and Dub Sports, where we talk about the latest news and hot topics in sports.
In this platform, we're going to talk about players, we're going to talk about teams, memes, social media, and a lot of very unpopular opinions.
Yeah, and of course, this is where you can also showcase and voice out your opinions and comments about sports in general.
My name is Carlos. You can call me Coco Puff.
My name is Jeff. Sometimes they call me Jeff.
And I am John D. That's it. I'm just John D.
Today, first ever topic for One Dub, we will talk about one of the most anticipated events in the NBA, which was just recently announced, which is the NBA Awards. Woo!
All right, so here's how we're going to do it. We're going to break down each award one by one and then talk about who we think will win. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
All right. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with the NBA Rookie of the Year award. The finalists are Ja Morant from the Memphis Grizzlies, Kendrick Nunn from the Miami Heat, and Zion Williamson from the New Orleans Pelicans. All right, Jeff, who's your Rookie of the Year, man?
It's really tempting to say Zion, but he hasn't played that much. And I think you feel like at the standings, they're way down. I think they're in like 13th. It can't be him just based off of the number of games played. Ja is, for me, is Ja, because he's been the lead guard for that Grizzlies team. So I think it has to be him.
Hey, my grandbaby.
Hey, grandma.
Get your ass up. I'm finna come pick you up for church.
Yeah, I think for me, I just agree with Jeff on this one, given that you look at the overall consistency as well. You look at the number of games that they have played, and you really look at how they have really helped their team rise above the standings, even on their path to the playoffs. So, I mean, yes, Zion has impressive numbers. Look at the stats. They're all impressive. But how many games he played? 24, 25? Super on it. I mean, compared to like Ja and Kendrick, they're super consistent all throughout. What happened to them with their team overall? So, yeah, same goes with Jeff. It's Ja for me.
Yo, first of all, I'd like to commend all these three guys, Ja, Kendrick, and Zion. I think they've done a really good job in their rookie years, especially Kendrick. He was a nobody coming into the league. Like, he had no hype. Nobody knew him. Yeah, nobody knew him.
Undrafted,
yeah, and so kind of like, coming off from a guy who wasn't as hyped as the other two, number one and number two, dude, gotta be happy for Kendrick Nunn to at least be in the finalists for the Rookie of the Year.
Surprise, motherfucker.
With Zion, though, I think he would have been the Rookie of the Year had he played more games, had he played the whole season, had he not been injured. Having said that, I think Ja's going to take this Ja Morant for me as a Rookie of the Year. I mean, he's hungry. He's a dog, man. He a dog, and
yeah, I mean, like they made it to like the ninth seed. But I think, like, make no mistake though, like Zion is still the most talented player in that whole batch. Ja is only there because Zion couldn't make it through the whole season.
Yeah, true. All right, boys. I think it's a unanimous decision. Rookie of the Year this 2020, Ja Morant.
Ja Morant.
Ja.
All right, now we move on to the Sixth Man of the Year award, and the finalists are Montrezl Harrell, LA Clippers, Dennis Schroeder, OKC Thunder, and Lou Williams from the LA Clippers. So we got two LA Clippers on this lineup. Jeff, who do you think will win the Sixth Man of the Year, bro?
I think Lou will probably win it, but I wanna vote. If I could vote, I would vote for Trez instead of Lou, because Lou is like, how many times has Lou won it? You know what I mean? Like, we get it. Like, his whole career has been sort of that sixth man kind of guy. So I want to see someone else, someone else win it. So the two guys are Schroeder and Lou. They're scoring guards, and I think Trez brings something different. He brings more than just scoring. He does score, but he also brings energy. He also brings rebounding. And I think ultimately that might be more important to the squad than Lou coming in with the scoring. I want to say Trez.
All right, so that's
Yeah,
Trez,
Trez
for
for me,
you.
bro.
Trez. All right.
Trez, bro.
All right, I'm gonna go with this one. I think Trez as well will win the Sixth Man of the Year award. He played an important role in the team because, again, like you said, he brought energy, he brought the points, he brought the defense. So I think Trez for me is the Sixth Man of the Year. Props to Dennis Schroeder though. I mean, that team, that Thunder team is a dog, man. They're really hungry, man. I think they have a lot to prove, bro. So props to Dennis Schroeder. Lou Williams, you've won it like 3 times already, so
I know, right? Chill out, bro.
Chill out.
Give us a chance, dude. I think it's idea.
Man.
So I gotta give it to Trez.
Give
man.
chance to others, bro. Give chance to others, bro.
Wait. Before,
John,
I think I'm gonna have to disagree with you guys. For me,
Wow.
well, no biases aside. I mean, I am for OKC, but for me it's Schroeder. It's Schroeder for me.
You're a Thunder
Come on,
fan,
dude.
that's
Come
why.
on.
You're a Thunder fan, bro.
But no, let me explain. Look at it this way. With the likes of Clippers, you have Paul George and you have Kawhi there. Even though from time to time Paul George gets injured, Kawhi has this load management. So you really have to see Trez and Lou step up, and they really do, especially coming off the bench. That's pretty solid for me. Thing is for me naman is when they come off the bench, they are always the main option. And they're always kumbaga, in terms of their position, they can be considered as the leads. For for the like of Schroeder coming off the bench. Thing is, Schroeder can lead as well. You can also see the stats wise. I mean, 18, almost 19 points per game. Even the assists, he can really lead in the floor as a second unit. And so, yeah, for me, it's Schroeder. Sorry to disagree, boys.
All right, that's a valid point. I totally respect your choice, but I would have respected it even further if you weren't an OKC Thunder fan. Just so you know, man. Just so you know. But yeah, I mean, truly valid points. All right, so that's 2 for Montrez and 1 for Dennis Schroeder. All right, cool. All right, let's go to the NBA Most Improved Player of the Year award. And the finalists are Bam Adebayo from the Miami Heat, Luka Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks, Brandon Ingram from the New Orleans Pelicans. Now,
is this even a discussion though?
Boys, I think this is like one of the most talented lineups for the Most Improved Player of the Year award because these players are their first time All-Stars this year, and second,
Yes,
they've really improved their game versus last year. With Bam Adebayo improving his defense, his scoring abilities, with Luka being an MVP caliber type player this year, and Brandon Ingram, man, dude's just stepping up every year. He's been balling this year. Jeff, why don't you take this one, man?
Like, I think immediately you can take Brandon. Like, no hate. I mean, I love Brandon when he was in the
Really?
when he was in the Lakers, but I feel you need to take him up because. Yeah, he's like primary option, but where are the Pelicans? The Pelicans they're still way down in the West. I think it's really between Bam and Doncic, but even then, it's very clear that it's Doncic. Yo, I fucking love Bam. You know I love Bam because I drafted him for Carlos in fantasy this year.
何お前はもう死んでいる。
So I know how he is. There's a big man that can pass. And he's good defensively. He averages one steal, 1 block a game. So he's like the typical modern center. He can occasionally step out and hit the 3 also. But Doncic is like this generational type of talent. And I think just to award him this improved player award is just to really underline, that this dude is the real deal. He's the next best thing in the coming years. And you think about like the Dallas Mavericks and who the stars are. You have Porzingis there. It says a lot about Doncic that he's considered the best player on that team, that he's better than the guy that they call the unicorn. So I think it's hands down Doncic for me.
You're right. We can take out Ingram. No disrespect to BI. No disrespect to the BI. But if you look at it from this lineup, right? You have Bam. I think it's his second year. Same with
Yeah, something
Luka
like that, yeah.
Doncic, right? It's his second year in the league. And look at Brandon Ingram, though he has been
We've been here
progressing.
forever.
Yeah, I know, man. He should have been like this during his sophomore year, man. If you look at Bam and Luka Doncic here, I think for me, I would pick Bam. Not because I'm a Miami Heat fan.
何お前はもう死んでいる。
Girl, you play me, this so shady. Feelings I can't trust lately.
Wow.
Okay,
Not
okay.
because
Here
I'm
we
a
go.
Miami Heat fan, but if you look at it this way, right? Luka Doncic is a high value draft. Like he was in the top 3, right? Top 3 draft. And so you have a lot of expectations from a top 3 draft, right? But if you look at Bam, he really improved his game. He added the passing game here. So I gotta give this to Bam.
I would agree with Carlos kasi, I mean, Doncic has been great ever since his first year. And then he just improved this year. But if you look at it, he's been a leader from the start of from his career. So from his rookie year to his sophomore year, leader na siya overall. So I really would think that in terms of like the big ass improvement, I would give it to Bam. Kasi that dude went from like a backup center to a main center and even one of the focal points of the offense and the defense. So you really would see how much difference he makes just because right now he's been the starting center for the Heat.
Yeah, hey, bro. Tell him bring me my money.
Thing is, though, I also agree with Jeff. Lucas one of a kind, dude. He's one of a kind. Come on, bold prediction. He can actually go from Rookie of the Year to MIT next year. Pwede pa MVP. You never know, dude.
Actually,
Bold ass prediction, dude.
Fucking look at
Actually,
Doncic, man. Dude's a EuroLeague
man.
MVP and dude's a EuroLeague
He-
champion. So
he could.
what do you
Exactly.
expect? Bam's just
Exactly.
like Bam's a fucking backup center. So who do you pick, man?
For me, like thinking of it as like an NBA media or like the people who really vote, I think it would be Luka.
All right.
Given the fact that his just stats
Luka.
just says otherwise, dude. His stats just says otherwise.
The
It's
quote
just
unquote
Luka.
narrative, boy.
Exactly.
Yeah, the narrative.
Bogey
narrative
pa eh.
would be. The
Bogey
narrative
pa.
would be Luka. Yeah, it would be. It would be Luka versus Bam. Yeah.
Alright, so just to sum it up, that's 2 for Luca, John D and Jeff, Bam, Adebayo, which is interesting picks. Interesting picks. Heading on to the NBA Coach of the Year award, and the finalists are Coach Bud from the Milwaukee Bucks, Billy Donovan from OKC Thunder, and Nick Nurse from the Toronto Raptors. Ooh, pretty
Yeah, I wanna start-
interesting.
I wanna start on this one.
Pretty interesting
I wanna start on
lineup
this
here. All right, Johnny, you go first, bro.
I want to start here. Pero,
Shit, wait, hold on, wait. Let me guess.
Like I
Dude,
said-
let me guess, man. Billy Donovan.
go for it. Nah, dude. I mean, bias for OKC, I would want Billy Donovan to win, but I would give it to Nick Nurse. Donovan and Nick Nurse are actually like head to head for me. The reason why is that they both lost a superstar caliber player, and yet look at where they brought their teams. Donovan lost Westbrook. Donovan also lost George. Who did he get? He got Chris Paul.
Oh my gosh, my favorite point guard, Chris Paul, man. Chris Paul, man. What's up, man? You ain't Chris Paul?
何
Chris Paul. He got SGA. He got technically. So I really give props to Donovan for that one. For Nick Nurse, also the same. He lost Kawhi. I mean, another one of a kind player. Although you kept as well Siakam, you kept Lowry, you have FVV. He was able to bring the Raptors to second overall, not just second in the East, second overall. So the reason why I give that to Nick Nurse, he gets the edge here, mainly because of how he really brought the team. Come on, 53-19, diba? And that is already losing the fact that you lost your superstar in Kawhi Leonard.
Dude, I totally agree with that.
So
totally agree. Totally
Nick Nurse
agree.
for me.
You know what's funny? It seemed like you commended Billy Donovan more, and then you chose Nick Nurse. It's like you were
I
talking.
wanted to show my bias, but
Yeah, you
It's like-
convinced me, bro. You
I was like,
convinced me.
damn,
I was
man.
gonna say Billy.
Wow, Billy Donovan, no? Pero Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse.
But yeah,
Pero
dude,
Nick Nurse.
dude, so totally agree, man. I'd also pick Nick Nurse. I think he should have won Coach of the Year as well last year. He was
Yeah.
very underrated last year as well. I mean, coming in as a first-time head coach, winning a championship with your first team, dude, that you gotta give some props to that. He's also like a really good defensive coach. I mean, the team is second in defensive ratings, and that's really
Yeah.
without Kawhi, that's a really nice feat. He also makes sure that all of his players are involved. They move the ball so well, and they made Siakam the player that he is today. Props to Larry and Van Fleet as well. So Nick Nurse for me, bro.
Yo, Johnny, you really had me. I was gonna change my answer to Billy Donovan too.
Come on, Donovan,
But-
just say it.
But but because when you think about Billy Donovan, he just did what was the most logical thing to do, which is why people thought that Chris Paul wasn't good anymore when he left Houston, which I thought was completely like he wasn't damaged goods. He just didn't have it because the ball will always go to Harden in Houston's offense.
Yeah.
So he did the most logical thing where he got the best point guard of that generation, and he just gave him the ball. He just trusted him with the ball. So for me, Billy Donovan did the most logical thing, and it worked out. Wow. So
Coach of the Year, boy.
right, coach of
Come
the
on.
year.
See? I made my point.
I think when you consider that and you look at stats, I guess you really have to give it to Nick Nurse because you would expect maybe like a big drop off when you lose a player of Kawhi's caliber, but they've sustained a lot of that defense and to finish second in the East as well, and have Spicy P, who's an all-star. Lowry, he hasn't declined that much. Then you see Fred Van Vliet, who I like to brag that I also drafted as well. He's a starting caliber point guard now, and it doesn't look like on paper it doesn't seem very deep, but when they do play, they're very balanced, and I think that's a hallmark of good coaching. So Nurse for me, Nurse for 3.
All right, so that's a unanimous choice. I think we're going with Nick Nurse as the Coach of the Year in 2020.
Sure.
Nurse.
All right, boys, we're going defense this time, man. We're going defense, all right? So we're going to choose the Defensive Player of the Year award. And the finalists are Anthony Davis from the LA Lakers, Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks, and Rudy Gobert from the Utah Jazz. So before you pick your player, I put in here some interesting stats. Like, for example, the defensive win shares. It's basically a metric that estimates the number of wins a player produces for his team due to his defensive capabilities. The higher the defensive win shares are, it means that his defense are actually contributing to the team's success. The higher it is, the more likely the team will win because of somebody's defense. I hope that's clear, man.
For me, I really want to think. I want to give the Defensive Player of the Award to the one person who single-handedly stopped the whole NBA. So props to Gobert. Nah, joke. Joke lang. For me, I've been actually eyeing or at least thinking about one person when it comes to Defensive Player of the Year from the start pa lang, and it's Giannis. For me kasi, Giannis really has proven that he's more than just a scorer, that he can also defend, and at the same time, he can also show that his defense helps win games. And as you mentioned earlier with the defensive win shares that you mentioned, the stats here show that he is number one in terms of defensive win shares, which already proves that he can play defense and he can actually contribute to win here. So props to Davis, props to Gobert, but for me, it's really Giannis.
That's a great pick.
Yeah, that's true, man. I mean, some people base it off of stats, or like why is Whiteside not in the lineup because he's the guy
Yeah.
leading the blocks, right? Or why is James Harden not here but he's leading in steals, right?
Or Drummond,
or
number
Ben-
one in rebounds.
or Ben Simmons, man. So it has to do a lot more than just stats. No, there's
Yeah.
a lot of things that you consider that are not on the stat sheet. When you talk about like hustle plays or like just playing defense to get the win or to get the dub, I'm gonna go with Giannis as well, bro. I mean, Anthony Davis is a beast in defense. I mean, Lakers are playing so well because of Anthony Davis's defense, as well as Gobert, Utah's anchor when it comes to defense. But you know, Bucks are number one for a reason, and number one because of Giannis. So I'm gonna go with
Yes.
Giannis here.
Like, so John D stole my joke. You know what I mean? Damn it, John D stole my joke. Like, to your point, I think, you know, we talk about DPOY. He has to be the anchor, right? The anchor of the team. He's not just the guy who leads in the metrics. And I think I'm giving it to Giannis also because he's the primary defender, and Giannis can defend inside and outside. AD is more of like he's in the paint, and he has fucking LeBron James to guard the perimeter. Do you know what I mean? So his workload isn't as heavy than Giannis, who has to consistently match up against the team superstar, shutting them down, you know, from like 3-point range and above. And then if it's coming down to inside, it's Giannis who's doing most of the defending there. So it's Giannis for me also. Even without the stats, just being like the singular, most important person on defense for the team. And because he's able to do both of these things, guard 1 through 5, it's Giannis.
All right, I think it's a unanimous decision. I think all of us pick Giannis as Defensive Player of the Year. So yeah, we're gonna go with Giannis on this one. Now for the main event, boys. We're going to choose the Most Valuable Player of the Year award. And the lineups are James Harden from the Houston Rockets,
LeBron James,
and our boy Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, I'm gonna go first on this one. I think it's very, very obvious. I'm gonna go with Giannis as a two-peat NBA MVP. I think Giannis has done a great job for the organization. He's leading them in points, rebounds, and also in defense. And a lot of people are saying Harden, a lot of people saying LeBron, even though year 17, they led their teams in the playoffs. But man, you gotta give it to Giannis as well for being the number one player in the East. You know, so Giannis on this one for me.
I think logically, if you're going with your head, it's Giannis. But a part of me, not because, you know, I'm a Laker fan,
NANI?!
but
Just in the shirt.
LeBron,
Obviously, man. Not so
Like,
obvious, man.
not so obvious, but LeBron in year 17, you know, doing what he's doing, it's more impressive to me what LeBron is doing versus what Giannis is doing, even though LeBron has an AD with him. So I want to say LeBron, but it's probably Giannis who's going to win MVP.
So Giannis,
For sure.
Giannis is your
Yeah,
choice.
it's Giannis for me.
Yeah.
All right.
For me, it's really Giannis.
I don't play Fortnite either. I just pro play at night.
Ang programang ito ay rated SPG, striktong patnubay at gabay ng magulang ang kailangan.
I mean, look at the stats. I mean, he's beasting. Almost 30 points per game, almost 14 rebounds per game, 6 assists per game, and the likes. You know, also, other than the stats, you also look at the overall impact towards the team, towards the game. For me, it's Giannis as well.
Damn, boys. So that means that we're going to have Giannis repeating history as the NBA MVP and a Defensive Player of the Year. No disrespect to James Harden and LeBron James, but I mean, Giannis has put on a good show for the whole NBA and its fans. Just like
I mean,
us.
if we were betting money, like if you actually had money riding on it, I don't think it's that big of a risk to say that he would repeat, just because of how, I guess, you know, like because of Harden's down year, and because Kawhi hasn't really played that much, KD didn't really play that much either. Steph wasn't, you know, Steph was out most of the season, so it's really him that's been producing. So
yeah, I really want to build with that as well. I mean, he's also consistent in terms of playing. I mean, I think the only games he's missed is when he's really injured. In terms of load management, he wouldn't not play. He wouldn't play, or he would not play, but rather he would just lessen his minutes. Sorry, that was confusing.
We don't know what the hell is going on right now.
I get it.
Pero gets, I mean, like,
I get what
yeah,
you
diba?
mean. Though. I get what you mean.
Parang,
Yeah.
instead of
Nick Young.
sitting it out, he would really lessen the minutes. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pero like, look at James, look at Harden. Look at James Harden, look at LeBron James. I mean.
Ron James. All right.
Good James, look at Harden.
All right,
Let's
cool. All right, I guess that's it for our very first podcast. I mean, you know, I love your insights. I love our discussions. I think we made really great picks. We made good picks. Good picks.
Good picks, bro.
Good choice.
Bro.
Good choice.
So, all right, so thank you guys for watching. Again, like and subscribe. And if you like our answers, just let us know in the comments. If you disagree with our answers or picks, just let us know in the comments below, and we're happy to discuss with you. Again, this is One and Dub Sports Podcast. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.
And esports.
Thank you, guys.